minutes to post, and the rail still holding strong as the favorite with just Macho Corona. And with that, let's get up to Ed Burgard here with our field.
And ladies and gentlemen, the horses are now making the turn in the post spray for this year's Grade 1 Golden State Million Futurity. Number 1 is just Macho Corona. Third in the Ed Burke Million Futurity is owned by the Turner Farms, trained by Paul Jones, and being handled by Cody Jensen. Winner of this year's Kindergarten Futurity and runner-up in the Ed Burke Million Futurity is number 2, Wicked Affair, owned by the Legacy Ranch Incorporated, trained by Terry Knight, being handled by Jesus Ayala. Victorious in the Governor's Cup Futurity last July is number 3, Powerful Favorite, owned by the Rosenthal Ranch, trained by Christopher Odell, the rider Eduardo Nicasio. And a finalist in the Grade 1 Ruidoso Futurity is number 4, Flash and Roll, owned by Scott Bryant, trained by Justin Joyner, being handled by G.R. Carter. Number 5 is Symbol of Faith, who is 5th in the Heritage Place Futurity, is owned by J. Garvin Kelly, Nancy Yearsley, and J.L. Yother, trained by Juan Alaman. The rider is Carlos Huerta. And number 6 is 8 Political Pence, who qualify for this year's Ed Burke Million Futurity, leased by Matthew Dunn, trained by Monte Rosa, the jockey Saul Ramirez. And the fastest qualifier is number 7 Favorite Motion, owned by Richard Franzen and trained by Jose Flores, being ridden by Cruz Mendez. Number 8 Tequila Sangria, owned by Steve Burns and trained by Mike Castleman. Tequila Sangria's rider Cesar D'Alba. Number 9 is You Caught My Eye, who was 3rd in the Governor's Cup Futurity, owned by Steve Burns, trained by Mike Castleman, the rider Ramon Sanchez. And number 10 is Alley Babe Foos, who qualified for the PCQHRA Breeders' Futurity, is owned by Cesar Dabdub and trained by Jaime Gomez, the rider Jose Nicasio.
And that is your field of 10 2-year-olds here who have earned their way to this spot. And still a rail favorite. Not too often are we sitting in a position in the field of 10 where the rail horse is the favorite, but just Macho Corona is the current choice here. And Backtrack Boy says we'll start there with the betting public. 2-year-old gelding by Corona Cartel, had the 4 post, broke on top, and never looked back.
And away they go. Not a very good start for Wicked Affair. Must be a length and a half behind Executive Walk. Started off well to the extreme outside. Just Macho Corona is now rallying on. Powerful Favorite. Wicked Affair is in huge trouble, having to try to split horses now with a 16th to go. As Just Macho Corona, Powerful Favorite, the 2 going best. Just Macho Corona half length in front of Powerful Favorite. And Wicked Affair got 3rd. Photo for 4th between.
Looks straight and strong there down the lane.
The key words was that clean path coming out of the gate, and you can see she was moving well down the lane. There was plenty of energy left past the wire.
5-2 here, and I think that there's a chance the 7 could come down here late for the favoritism, but just Macho Corona was a long shot in the Ed Burke when the horse was in the photo. 3rd being only a half length. You kind of thought maybe the horse got a good outside post or a good ride that night, but has definitely shown the quality since then. We'll go from the 1 post now to the 2 post, talking about Wicked Affair, and the question is, can she get back to those races in the spring? Scott, we look at a horse who was even money last time and was a vanquished favorite.
Yeah, from the 2-hole. Watch the break, though. Wasn't the best break and never really persevered with after that. That's a pretty bad break right there, guys. And right now, having to be asked, I actually was impressed with this effort if you think about it right here. Now, the 1 comes out a little bit. So to actually qualify for this race, look at that. I mean, directly the 1 is directly in front of her right now. You know what? After that backtrack, it's actually more impressive effort, Jose, than I actually even remembered.
And just Macho, it's that same trial where just Macho Corona just won, the same one we saw. The final 8th of that trial was 9.52, so they were rolling late.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we've known from her in the spring, right? She'd get off slow, but she had the 10 post, and she could accelerate, but a little bit different there from an inside post. How about Favorite Motion here, who was the fastest qualifier, 19.70, and kind of mixed reviews. I mean, one way you could say is the horse was a little green and getting in, but the other way to look at it is, Jose, this horse had all kinds of run, was extending late, and really wasn't being asked.
But take a look at the outside draw here for Favorite Motions. It's going to break clean. Going to drift in a couple of lanes, maybe a lane or 2 here. And at this point, I think Cruz Mendez felt what he had on the knee. He goes to the right hand. He continues to drift in the lane, and he's just worried about keeping him going as straight as he can. He continues to drift in. He's never really asking late. He's going to finish this final 8, 9.51 under a hand ride and posting the fastest qualifying time. I think there's plenty more left in the tank.
That was a pretty telling backtrack, guys. I mean, that was, although I will, on the opposite side of it, Favorite Moon had the outside post, but wow. I mean, in hand. You're absolutely right, Jose. In absolute hand. Very impressive.
Another thing we mentioned, fastest trial of the night. The rest of the qualifiers, trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, trial 4. I mean, favorite motion is the only one.